Number 1 Raptors vs. Number 8 Wizards, series tied 2-2. Washington took care of business at home and has gained plenty of momentum as the series returns to Toronto tied 2-2. John Wall and Bradley Beal both elevated their play in Games 3 and 4, propelling the Wizards to 2 wins. The dynamic duo has been reliable all season, but Washington's Game 5 success hinges upon the play of Markieff Morris, Kelly Oubre, Otto Porter and Mike Scott. The Wizards will need one of the four to have a big night to take a 3-2 series lead. The opposing backcourt of Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan will need to set the tone for the Raptors in Game 5. DeRozan finished with 35 points in Game 4, but he must improve upon his 10 of 29 shooting from the field in the loss. Toronto needs its bench to return back to form. Its reserves averaged over 40 points per game in the regular season and put up 42 points in each of the first 2 games, but once the series moved to Washington, the bench's play regressed. Toronto's second unit scored a combined 54 points on 38% shooting in Games 3 and 4. The Raptors have benefited from big bench performers all season. A reserve will need to step up to help Toronto get back on track in Game 5. Number 4 Cavaliers vs. Number 5 Pacers, series tied 2-2. Cleveland is looking to build upon a gutsy Game 4 win in Indiana for its first series lead. LeBron James is averaging 32.5 points, 11.8 rebounds and 8.0 assists in the series, but he has played for at least 40 minutes each game due to the Cavs' third quarter woes. In the first 4 games of the series, the Pacers have outscored Cleveland 97-75 in the third frame. The Cavs should come out firing at home, but a good start is nothing without a solid second half. It's also worth watching Kevin Love, who scored only 5 points on 2 of 8 shooting in Game 4 and has struggled with a thumb injury. After a hot start to the series, Victor Oladipo has shot 10 of 35 in the last 2 games. Cleveland has adjusted to Oladipo by frequently trapping ball screen actions in order to get the ball out of his hands. If the Cavs can continue to limit Oladipo's impact, Indiana will need its bigs to impose their will on the inside. A few three-pointers from Bojan Bogdanovic on the perimeter wouldn't hurt either. No. 1 Rockets vs. Number 8 Timberwolves, Houston leads 3-1. Karl Anthony Towns got closer to All-Star status in Games 3 and 4 with better scoring nights, but the Wolves' problems have come on the defensive end. Minnesota allowed 50 points in the third quarter of Game 4, and the Rockets built an insurmountable second-half lead. If the Wolves want to force a Game 6 in Minneapolis, they will need to limit James Harden's offensive efficiency. Unfortunately for the Wolves, Houston's historic quarter appeared to get Chris Paul and James Harden back in sync. In Game 1, Harden made up for Paul's struggles, and Paul returned the favor in Game 2. The Game 3 loss was a low point for Houston, as it struggled to limit the Wolves' perimeter scoring. Game 4 served as a reminder of just how good the Rockets can be when Paul and Harden are clicking offensively. Expect the 2 guards to lead the Rockets to a close-out victory at home. 4 Thunder vs. Number 5 Jazz, Utah leads 3-1. Russell Westbrook came with an increased aggression early in Game 4, but it resulted in early foul trouble. The reigning MVP will need to get off to a better start in Game 5 in order to extend the series to a sixth game. The Thunder face elimination after a less than impressive showing in Game 4. They trailed by as many as 21 points in a game that was not particularly close. Paul George has been solid offensively in the series, but he and Westbrook have not been effective down the stretch. OKC has the talent to claw back from a 3-1 deficit, but it cannot do so without Carmelo Anthony, 22 of 61 shooting for the series, stepping up offensively. Anchored by big man Rudy Gobert, Utah's defense has done a great job of making things difficult for the Thunder. Defense translates well to the road and will be the main reason the Jazz are able to close the series in 5 games. Led by rookie Donovan Mitchell, who is averaging 27.5 points per game in the series, Utah's offense has excelled thanks to floor general Ricky Rubio, 18. 5 points, 8.0 assists, 7.8 rebounds per game, as well as the shooting of Joe Ingles, 10 three-pointers in Games 3 and 4. The stage is set for Mitchell to deliver yet another eye-opening performance in Game 5 to lead the Jazz to the second round.